Police think they Wayne, 6'9" over the law. Wanna give us short sticks, but we really need a long. To the boys in the hood, ducking bullets and batons. For boys in the hood, triple K's on their arm. 4 fingers on my palm, screaming fight. Change the policy, defund, buy back our property. You love Black Panther, but not Fred Hampton. Word to the Howards and the Aggies and the Hamptons. They book us, won't book us, I'm Booker. T. Washington, George Hill, 420. Think about it, that's 2,000 pennies. The value Black life, the cost of going to Wendy's for a 4-quarter burger. Ended in murder. Fight for Brianna and the pain of her mama. Gotta fight the power.
Fight the power. Fight the power. Fight the power. Fight the power. Fight the power. Fight the power. We got to fight the powers that be.
Yeah, generations is how long we've been at war. The revolution on all platforms. You break a man's mind and it's back yours. Solidarity is what I'm wearing all black for. For comrades who don't fought without me. It's not to try and change our thoughts about me or to redirect your reports about me. Dear white people, you should take a course about me. Cause is it the long 4-finger ring? The sciences of the arts, the songs we can sing. I really wanna know why y'all so scared. Probably cause the promised land we almost scared. But look, I think of images that fuel my youth. Interviews by Craig Hodges and Abdul Raouf. Examples like Olympic Black Power salutes and Panther troops. I saw as I pursued my truth. If racism is a cancer, black thought's the answer. Gotta get up off the back porch. Emancipate your mind. Get your bodies back from ransom. And all black hands up for the anthem.
Fight the power. Fight the power. Fight the power.
Yo, check this out, man.
Bring that beat back, man. 2, 3, 4, hit it.
People, stronger than this evil. Smashing your power structure, melanin royal regal. System designed to kill and unprotect. Worldwide hit the streets just to get some respect. Our fight and our rights for freedom will never waver. Justice Breonna Taylor, salute Chuck and Flavor. Feel the same anger since Radio Raheem died. Black power to the people, push forward pride.
Fighting power like it's an octo. Born to fight, I made it off the block though. Thought he had a gun and he was black, that's the combo. The police killed George having a convo. They killed Malcolm X, they killed Dr. King. They gave us guns and dope, they wanna stop our kings. Trying to erase our history, stop and think. History class ain't tell us about Juneteenth. Cops don't give a damn about a Negro. Pull a trigger, kill a nigga, he's a key, bro. Us living life on welfare. The last one who cared was Obamacare, round 12. Nose kinda bloody, gotta keep fighting. Trump through the North Korea, they respect violence. If you ain't trying to have your city on fire for some respect on our name, we come from gold and diamonds.
Fight the power. Fight the power. Fight the power. We got to fight the powers that be. Elvis was a hero of the month, but he never meant to me. You see, straight up racist, the sucker was simple and plain. Cause I'm black and I'm proud, I'm ready, I'm hyper, I'm amped. Most of my heroes on a piano stamp. Sample all look like you look and find nothing but redneck for 400 years if you check.
Don't worry, be happy.
Was a #1 jam. Then if I said you could slap me right here. Get it.
Let's get this party started.
Right on, come on. What we got to say? Power to the people, know the lay. Make everybody see. In order to fight the powers that be.
Good afternoon and welcome to another edition of Ask Mathis. I'm your host, Reginald Mathis, and rocking with me is my brother, Wildman Teddy T, a.k.a. Baron Theo Mound Builder.
We all are one. We are the same person. We.
Yeah, that part. Sounding like Cookie Monster. Shout out to Cookie Monster, man. Y'all know he was my favorite one. I don't know about y'all. Who was y'all favorite character on Sesame Street? Cookie Monster.
Cookie was cool.
Big Bird? I was never a big
He was a
Bird
big
fan. Mr. Snuffleupagus, maybe. Like, I'd like when Mr. Snuffleupagus came
was
around.
Cool. I didn't want to say Snuffleupagus. Yeah. That's why I went with Big Bird, man.
Yeah,
I thought I was going to be sorry saying Snuffleupagus.
Grover was cool.
Oh, yeah. Grover, right. Grover.
Count was real cool,
and
too.
then Ernie and Bert was cool, but as you got older, you wondered. You know, that was all.
Now you got to wonder no more. They done came out and let you know what it is.
If it wasn't, it
Ernie
is
and Bert
now.
that came out the closet.
They done
Wow.
You always admired their relationship growing up, but
Yeah.
then she got older. You was like,
For real,
They
for
some
real.
cool friends.
They
They
too
got
cool.
to stay in the house together.
For
They was like the
real,
best
man.
friends of best friends.
Well, you live and you learn.
Yeah.
You live and you learn, man. This is the Ask Mathis show coming at you, man. You know, on Strong Arm Radio and on Sundays on Video Mix at 11 a.m. Y'all make sure y'all check it out, man. So, you know, I heard a very interesting take today on, you know, Vladimir Putin from a former political prisoner, you know, someone who has been locked up. And he was just basically just saying, you know, what it is that Putin has already declared his willingness to use nuclear weapons, and the world does not have the appetite to risk it. So until the world has the appetite to use nuclear weapons, then Putin, according to Nadim, this former Russian prisoner, is saying that there's no stopping Putin. And I don't disagree. I don't disagree because, you know, the leaders are going out of their way to say, you know, we're not going to engage. There's no boots on the ground, like none of the stuff. So the guy that's basically saying, wow, you know, think about it, man. Put yourself, you know, in the shoes. You know, put yourself in a scenario where you had the ultimate weapon. Whether you had the ultimate weapon, whether that was on the athletic court, whether that was on, you know, the football field, basketball court, you know, a fight, you know, you name it. You know, just think of a time when you had the ultimate weapon, a video game, you know, anything. What scenario did you not take full advantage of it? And if you look in those terms, I think it makes it a bit easier to see, you know, what Putin is basically saying. He's basically like, hey, if I come out here and I'm telling y'all, you better get around me, and I'm running around with, like, you know, this nuclear bomb, you know, I got it right here on my shoulder, and I'm running around, and I come your way, you're going to move and jump out of the way. Everybody going to move and jump out of the way, and that's what they doing. They getting out of the way because this man is saying he willing to use it. Mm-hmm. So who wants to step up and say, you know what, we all willing to go down for it. So all we got to do is give up Ukraine? Okay, Ukraine, you know, as I say when I'm playing my daughters in chess, when I take one of their good pieces, I say, you know, we will always remember that night. You know, you can do a portrait, a statue, like however you want to remember that piece, because he's about to die. He's about to die right now. You know, that's how we celebrate big moves in my household. You know, when I lose a piece to save another piece, I'll say, you know, we will always remember your work, Bishop. We will always remember your work. You know, as the bishop goes down, you know, as the bishop goes down. And so, you know, so how do you feel about that? Do you feel that it's time to confront the bully? You know, our whole lives, what have we been taught? Well, there's a bully.
Stand up to the bully.
And here's one thing that the guy who was in prison said. He started making prison references. He's like, Putin is no longer a superpower in the traditional sense. He's saying that the world has been run in a certain manner since World War II, and that Russia lost its status. Says Russia lost its status. Putin's goal is to get back up as the superpower and be the only superpower. And he feels that he can be the only superpower by being the only one willing to utilize nuclear weapons. So does that mean he's going to have to let one off to show folks that he not playing? Because the guy's basically saying on 3 occasions, Putin has come out there and basically, said y'all gonna experience something y'all ain't never seen or y'all don't never want to see. Y'all better leave me alone. Y'all better leave me alone. So that's what, he keeps saying it. So you saying it long enough for somebody to come and try you because you want them to try you so that you can demonstrate, that are you going to annihilate Ukraine? Like, does the Western world in particular have an appetite for it? As I said before this, what do we want to call it? A crisis, war, however you guys want to characterize it. I was saying the interesting thing for me is going to be what is the world's appetite for the death and the destruction of white people. Like, what is the appetite? Right now, they didn't let it go 12 days.
I mean, they're not Jews. So in that aspect of, that's where there's that carefree for those so-called white people. The Ukrainians, they're a mixture of a bunch of everything up there. So the bloodline isn't really there for them to really be considered as that elite element for them. Those are probably still considered what they call the other kind, the lower kind. They're not a part of the elite.
So that's how Teddy sees it. He sees them as they're still other. Mm-hmm. So by being other, that gives the world the appetite to take a little more. Mm-hmm. So we were mentioning also that Biden initially said that they were not going to cease receiving oil from Russia, even though it's a global commodity and goes into, a global. So somehow, whatever it is that we can do to say we don't want any Russian oil, Biden just announced that they with it now. Because I guess Biden is looking at all his poll numbers, and his poll numbers are kind of creeping up. And so I think Biden is saying, hey, folks they rocking with me. Folks is rocking with me. In another week or so, I'm going to have the first African-American female, Judge Jackson. They're going to start her confirmation hearings. So you know what? I'm just going to sit back. If I sit back, I guess the country is going to have, a better appetite for, Sleepy Joe's way of doing things, so.
I just think that right now people, they're still in between comparing him and Trump, because that Trumpism is deep.
Trump's gonna be here on the.
I seen that.
He's gonna be here.
All them billboards I saw going up the road.
They got all the billboards. It's coming here, but I doubt it's gonna be packed. I don't think it's gonna be packed. I think he done lost some of the mojo. I don't think it's gonna be packed and out of control like it was.
What do you think about the Proud Boy being indicted?
I mean, I think that was, as far as the Proud Boy being indicted, it's only the beginning. It's only the beginning. Who I really want to see is I want to see the Chief of Staff. I want to see him go up because there are text messages that he has specifically, that go towards, direct communication with the president. And they're saying that the president at the time had taped several videotape statements that were released. And, to see what those statements said, and Mark Meadows, who's a total hack, they're fighting those subpoenas. And Kevin McCarthy, who broke protocol, initially, and he said, hey, he said an expletive, to the president, was like, who do you think you talking to? When he was like, man, you need to get on the phone and you need to holler at these people. You need to come out and let them know because they'll listen to you. Let's not forget January the 6th. Yeah, you had some people, if they were left to their own devices, they wouldn't have done anything. But if you feel that you have the approval, the tacit approval or not, but the approval of the president of the United States, when the guy was running, he was telling people, yo, if you throw one of these bums out, who's interrupting my rallies, I'll pay for your legal fees. Now you the president. So you have the ability to pardon, anybody that's in there, doing things on federal. I mean, that's the ultimate get out of jail card free. You feel like you being patriotic. Look at what just happened in Texas. They're saying in Texas they just found 10,000 votes, from the primary that just, not from the 2020 election, but from the primary that they just had. 10,000 votes, 10,000 votes that was just found. So that feeds into the whole narrative that the election was rigged, that, things don't count. But like the brother was saying yesterday, I think as a people, we need to get away from, the acme tricks. And you know what I mean by the acme tricks, Teddy T? If you used to watch Road Runner, and you watch Road Runner and Wile E. Coyote, every time he's trying to build a trap and he gets something that comes in the mail, it say Acme on it, and it's just like, okay, a sign that says bang or, this piece. Like we got these Acme responses, which is just these cookie cutter, tailor-made, responses, and we're not looking at that this is a nuanced issue, this is a nuanced problem, which has everything to do with keeping people in their place.
Like I remember during the election, the debate when Biden said, "You got the Proud Boys. What you gonna say to them? What you gonna say to them?
Stand by and stand down."
And then that is their slogan. So how does that not implicate them, because that's what they did until he told them.
Because you have something in America called the Constitution. And when you talk about the Constitution, you talk about the fundamentals of the, Constitution when it comes to the Fifth Amendment in particular. So the Fifth Amendment gives you the right to remain silent. And giving you the right to remain silent, you also have the presumption of innocence. So having said that, you cannot, or you're not supposed to get penalized or punished for what's in your head, what's in your mind. You have to act out on it. So if there's, and this is, if you want to call it the genius, the evil genius of Trump, what do they tell you? Trump does not use email. He doesn't send emails. Why is that? Because he don't want a trail.
That's a trail.
He don't want the trail to come back on him and to come back to him, supposedly. That's for what it is. You always want to have what's called plausible deniability. Plausible deniability is, the ability to wiggle out of something. Just to be like, well, I didn't tell them to do that. I was like, I'm going to march down there with you guys, but I didn't say we're going to march down there and break windows and do this stuff like that. I was like, let's go down there.
Let's go hang out.
Let's go, right. I was like, let's just go down there and just
see what happens.
See what happens. Let's, maybe we can change a mind or two. Maybe we can get, Vice President Pence to, see what we all see and don't do this. And you got your man Pence, who, is I would say is a conservative. I think far more conservative than Donald Trump was. And Pence is basically saying, bruh, I can't do this, man. There's no way I can do this. So what happens when the law does not matter? And that is what we just ran, face to face with, when it does not matter. When it's just straight up, your team is cheating. And it's come to everybody's attention that your team is cheating. And what do you say? Well, let's go anyway. That's what I think what Trump did to that's what Trump did to the country. I think what he did is that he made it where we were all like, I want my team to win so bad that we're willing to do whatever it takes. And in doing that, I think we totally messed up for a long time what we have going on. And I don't know if Joe Biden is the guy for 2024, but I do believe Joe Biden was the guy for 2020. Just because, you know, if we had allowed Trump to have his way and do whatever, to actually get on the phone and call the Secretary of State for the state of Georgia and, you know, tell the Secretary of State, man, I need you to find me 11,000 votes. I need you to find that for me, you know. And it just so happened that it was Georgia, which he probably thought, hey, this is it's a red state.
Right.
You know, I'm calling Georgia, but he ended up calling somebody with integrity. And that's what you end up finding. You know, the majority of the people in this nation, they have integrity, but everybody does not have integrity. Like he had called somebody, you know, in maybe South Dakota, if that was an issue, maybe the folks in South Dakota would have, you know, gave him what he wanted. But he called a guy in Georgia, and the Secretary of State, a Republican, mind you, said, "Nah, we're not doing that. That's not what we that's not what we on. That's not what we're gonna do."
So what happened if you was on Trump team? Would you have had to?
If I was on, if I was on Trump's team, you know, what I would have been advocating is that, number one, don't shoot yourself in the foot when it comes to this whole thing about the write-in ballots or the absentee ballots or whatever the case may be. What we would have done is we would have gone and had a grassroots campaign for the folks that are, you know, 50-50 or not likely voters, and we would have focused on getting them to send their votes in.
Right.
Because I know that the majority of my people are going to be walk-in voters. They're going to be, you know, walk up and vote the day of, you know, the majority of my people. But I'm not going to give the other side already banked up ballots, which is what they did. You know, that's why he started talking about, you know, by the time we get to, you know, if we don't have a result by 10 o'clock, you know, we won this thing easy. By 10 o'clock, you know, we're going to have this thing, you know, hook, line, and sinker. Because he knew that with all those banked up early ballots, and then you got to look in terms of many of the states, Pennsylvania in particular, they had it where the ballots could not even be calculated. They were just sitting in warehouses. Like they weren't even allowed to begin to count them. And look at the way Florida did it. If you recall the way Florida did it, like as soon as, you know, those votes was already counted because they've been there so long. You had them for over a week. You had the ballots for over a week. Why not count them and give people real time on what's going on? So rather than, you know, take advantage of the rules that you have, you just basically come out and just say, man, the rules is flawed. You know, this whole process is flawed. And then you telling your people not to do it. I would never have given him that advice. You
Early
know,
voting?
I would never have given them the advice not to participate in that. You know, so he was telling his people not to do it. So you had some folks who did not vote, who would have voted for him, but they ended up not voting because he was saying you couldn't get out, or you had, you know, other situations. Things happen, bro. Like, you know, I missed the last two special elections. They had a special election in Sunny Isles, you know, and because of the 2020 election, Florida and, you know, our governor, he done basically went in and you got to do everything over again. So we had it for the 2020 election where once you went online, requested your ballot, it came to the crib. You know, you got to fill it out, mail it back, or go drop it.
Right.
You know, during the early voting period. This time, for the Sunny Isle special election, like I didn't get any of that stuff.
Right.
So the day of the election, we all the way out here in Hialeah. So it's like I got to make it back to the crib by 7 o'clock if I'm going to vote, because I've now waited to the end of the day. So it's like I'm rushing to get back. It's after 7 o'clock. I'm like, I didn't even go. So, that's what you run the risk of when you discourage people from voting early. They don't vote.
I personally like to vote early because of the fact, what we do, the time to get, I think it's pretty much based off of the individual with their schedule. I don't want to go. I remember the first time I actually voted in my entire life, which was for Obama. I went to the library and sat there and voted. I actually took a date and we voted together, me and a young lady. You know what I'm saying? I thought that was like one of the best ways for me to get motivated to go vote.
That was a little date.
Yeah, that was
You
a
had
date.
a date.
I mean, I think going to a voting spot is a great date, like, because you got to sit there and then get picked, and then you got to separate, so you get to talk, and then when you separate, she got time to think about what you said. You got time to think about if what you said was effective. You know what I'm saying? And then you go out afterwards, and then, see what happens after that. But just for voting, I think itself, each individual should be able to go when it's good for them. Some people, like I know it's crazy that whenever you go to every voting spot, there's always a nice not young, but middle-aged black woman that greets you. At 80% of all.
Just the ones you go to.
Come on,
man. Just say the ones you go. The ones you go to, Teddy.
But I went to Miramar. I went to different
Miramar
ones.
is a black city.
I mean,
Miramar is a
guess
black
so.
city,
I
and the
guess so.
folks that volunteer typically volunteer, at or near their precincts. So I feel you on that.
But I like those people that are there because they make you feel comfortable to vote. They help you.
Yes, they do.
So it's like
A lot of the seniors too, and that's one of the things that with the pandemic, what it cut back on is a lot of the seniors who traditionally are the volunteers, even the ones that get paid a little bit to do it. They take these jobs. These are like seasonal workers, and they come in, and that's something that they do. But with the pandemic, you had a shortage. You had a shortage of those folks, and then coupled with the former president, telling folks to come out there and be watching people.
Right.
Coming out there being inspectors, making sure like nothing goes wrong. Like,
That was
that's just totally irresponsible. And I've never seen a person in the White House who just totally neglected or discarded the people who did not support him. Like we really, really elected the toy. The guy from the toy. If y'all remember that old Richard Pryor movie, and the little spoiled brat, that was Jackie Gleason's son, who was in the military school and was in there, and is like, give him whatever he wants. And the guy was like, I want him. It was like, no, can we still do that? He had a group of lawyers with him in the toy store. Like, can we still do that? Can we not do that anymore? It's just like, you can't own people anymore, sir. It was like, oh, okay. So let's pay him. Give him something that he can't refuse. Like, I see our president as that guy. Like Richie Rich, the black Richie Rich. And I mean it like how they do Batman and, Superman when they make him, black, dark as they alter evil, not skin color, man. But, because Richie Rich was for good. But your man Donald Trump, bro, I think, I just don't understand how he was able to just convince so many people that what he did in the past, he's Teflon. The man been married 3 times. This man got like all these different things that would totally, disqualify folks on the Republican side. Because that's, remember, we're talking about traditional values. We're talking about the evangelists. We're talking about, the guy who he fell up in there is like, man, what's your favorite what's your favorite scripture? What's your favorite Bible verse? He like 2 Corinthians. And it's like, man, anybody that went to church on watch night, Easter, Mother's Day, you know, can tell you that it's 1st or 2nd Corinthians. But this man, like, you know, what's your favorite thing to do in church? He's like, oh man, I like the communion, man. I love the little crackers and the, you know, and the wine, whatever. But I don't drink. You know, come out there, you know, in the square with the Bible upside down, you know, to clear the protesters. Like, just all those things, man, where you would think, you know, people saw straight through it. But no, because he was furthering their self-interest. And what a great segue, man. We got Shawty Lo Jr.
Junior.
Welcome to Ask Mathis, my brother. Welcome.
You got to turn your mic on. You got to get your mic on, brother. Shawty Lo Jr. He's got what is the D4L week coming up. And it's
the Laffy Taffy folks.
Yeah, that's D4L. That was Shawty Lo's group.
Ah,
that was all one.
Okay.
Hey, you got to turn on your mic, brother. Turn on your mic. Yeah, your mic ain't on. We can't hear you.
Oh, you got us up?
Yes, we are.
Oh man.
So you know he's got the D4L week popping off, and he's creating a legacy setup for his father to continue that element. And you know, I was rocking with him over the weekend, and we just went at it like that.
Wow, that's what's up, man. You know, Shawty Lo, definitely rest in peace, bruh. I would say your father was probably one of
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we hear you, brother. Welcome to Ask Mathis show. Brother, I was saying that your father's is going down record let me know that I was officially in another generation, that I was officially old, because it was my little sister's graduation from high school, and so I go to, you know, her graduation, and the whole class, you know, that was their theme song. It's going down, and it was all just doing the little motorcycle, you know, thing or whatever, and I'm just like, man, I missed this. This is something that I missed this one, man. So rest in peace to your father, man. Welcome to the show.
I appreciate that, man. I really do. And it's a pleasure to be here. And I thank y'all for even having me on the show.
Yeah. We had to, brother. You know, it's a legacy for you, what you got going on with your father and what you got coming up in the A. So, you know, we wanted to give you your flowers for right now so people could be paying attention to what's coming up.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So I appreciate that.
So tell us about D4L week, man, as far as how it came about and what the activities are going to be.
Honestly, it was something that was put together kind of last minute, if you would say. It's like I was really just thinking about Pops, and so I knew that his birthday is March the 22nd. So I was like, versus doing something that day for him, I can do something the whole week. And that's just going to be us, you know, celebrating him, but also giving back to the community as well as you know, going up. So that's like okay, like Monday, which is the 21st, his birthday falls on Tuesday, which is the 22nd. That Monday, like we will be feeding the homeless. On Tuesday, we are having a candlelight visual, and we are going to the Blue Flame.
Yes.
Wednesday, we going to the bowling alley Wednesday. So, you know, friends, family, and fans, you know, they can come out and get access to me. You know, we gonna bowl and have fun on me. You know, we can just come out and have fun. Later that night, we are going to King of Diamonds. Well, you know, I don't want to, you know, but we giving back. So that Sunday,
but we giving back in a way that you know, is true to the brand as well.
Mm-hmm. So, you know, I don't want to tell you everything on here, but yeah, it's gonna be lit. It's gonna be a dope week.
What
The
y'all
whole
got?
week.
What y'all got going on in Bankhead?
Yeah, man. So on Bank Tuesday, we are gonna have the candlelight visual on Bankhead at Club Crucial, and then that Tuesday night we are going to Blue Flame. Blue Flame was one of his premier strip clubs, and that was the last place he was at before he passed. And they also passed him through there, like on the day, you know, that they wanted, you know, to lay him to rest. Right. They actually took his casket to the Blue Flame too. So Tuesday is going to be a big day. Sunday is going to be that there also. So it's just like, man, you know, we trying to involve each side of town. You know, we have something going on the west side, south side, east side, north side. You know, we just trying to bring everybody together just to pay homage and show love to Pops and give back to the community also.
Excellent. You know, I've traveled to the Blue Flame, you know, back in the day. You know, it's one of my, you know, favorite spots, man. I used to go there around 1990. You know, used to, I was there. I stayed out in Austell, and I worked in Mableton, and I'm very, very familiar, man. We go down to the Blue Flame, man. It's very similar to like the old Take One down here and the Rolex to a certain extent. You know, it's just kind of like it was a neighborhood spot when I used to go. It was you know, you just go there and everybody just felt, you know, it was down home.
Yeah, between Nicky's and Blue Flame was the first
time.
Yeah,
Nicky's
I got with day
but I ain't never really never really do Nick. I went to Nicky's before, but I ain't really. That was too far from me where I was. You know, I went to school in the city, but then I was staying in Austell.
Oh yeah.
So
because you had Nicky's 1 and Nicky's 2. Yeah. Nicky's 1 was on north side, and then Nicky's 2 was on the Metropolitan over there. Like that. Woo.
No, that's what it is, man. So that's really a Shawty Lo legacy, man. So this is gonna be the first year of an annual celebration commemoration.
Yes. Well, this is gonna be the first year where where I've put together, you know, a whole week. Like typically we would do something for Pops like 1 or 2 days out the week. But you know, that typically wasn't put together by me and or the family. That was more of, you know, people, you know, just wanted to do something for them. So this time around, it been put together by me, the family. You know, it has more weight to it because it's his, you know, his family and, you know, his seed, you know, actually doing something now.
Of course. And you know, it's a blessing, man, that you know, that you can come out, man, and honor your father and his legacy, man. You know, your father meant a lot to, you know, a lot of people. And I don't know if you know, in terms of the reality show that was going to come out, but I know that was a huge buzz down here when they were saying, like, you know, his show is going to come out, but then it, for whatever reason, it didn't. They stopped it, man. But I think that would have really, you know, put your father in a whole different light, you know, because just from listening to you talk and, you know, the fact that you are still, you know, commemorating your dad and putting things together, you know, lets me know that he left an indelible impression on you, and that's important. I know he's smiling right now. The fact that you're out here, you know, carrying this torch for him, you know, definitely.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I appreciate that.
So I like to ask you, like, coming up, you know, you was younger when your father was doing the things with D. Pharrell, Fable, and this whole setup. Like, what was it like growing up in Atlanta while everything was going on?
I mean, man, honestly, like it was fun and it was lit. But you just have to think about the transition that was being made from the streets to the rap. So them trying to you know be clean about it and invest. What that was really what was going on. When my dad was trying to find a way to invest his money, to actually clean it up. So that's really where this really came from. So I mean, just around that time, and it really just happened just suddenly. Like they dropped Laffy Taffy, and it was just the rest was history. But during that time, my pops was incarcerated when they dropped that song. So it was like, man, just to see life, go. Not saying that our life wasn't good. I mean, but just to see that we're doing it in the more fashionable way now. You know what I mean?
Right, definitely. Like it's more organized. It's legal. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And that's the thing that your father wanted for his seed, which is you. You know what I'm saying? To be able to build something that can commemorate his legacy, and you keep it going. So on that level, like, what is the music element? Like, is there any type of thing that you're doing with music or anything to continue the legacy?
Yes, honestly, yeah. I am doing music also. Doing music. I have my own clothing brand. I'm starting up my own label. So basically, I'm getting it off the ground. I actually have dropped my single, actually two singles. Excuse me. I'm with it. It's out right now. It's on all platforms. That's Shawty Lo Jr. featuring Straight Bell and Young. I'm with it. It's out right now. And Bricks is out right now also. Bricks is out on all platforms, and the music video is actually out on all platforms also. So Bricks is actually doing good right now. Bricks is my main single, and actually that was my first single that I dropped. And I just started doing music last year around April. So just to drop my first song ever and just get the feedback and the love and respect that I got from it, and just building it up. What really led me to get into music was my dad came to me in a dream. This was January the 4th of last year. He told me to, do music, take it serious. And he told me that he would put the pieces around me to help, speed up the process. But I had to give it 100%, just like anybody else and everybody else. That's the only way that I would make it. I wouldn't just make it because I'm his son. I had to put in the work just like everybody else. So I really just took heed to that dream and that word, and I dropped my first song around April of last year, and it's been up.
That's what's up, man. I'm sure, Wild Man Teddy T, man, gonna give us a taste of it. And while he's getting that queued up, who are some of the people who, are assisting you in your musical endeavor? Any collabs, that came about, through relationships with your father?
Yes. Excuse me. I actually have a song with T-Pain, but it's not out yet. Schoolie, that one is actually out right now. It's actually on all platforms too. It's called Every Time. So me and Schoolie, who else? Uncle Head from Splat Pack. We have a song out right now called All Off. Who else? I mean, Brush, I'm working. I'll say that.
That's good, man. That's good. That's good. And so, do you feel that you are connecting more with your father, seeing the grind that it takes to record and some of the things that you're going through now? Does that bring you closer to your father?
I mean, it. I feel like I've always had a love for music. I just never thought about doing music myself as being an artist. So like, and with him, it was the same way. You know, he never really thought about rapping or being a rapper or an artist, if you would say. You know, he just did it because the people, you know, were telling him that they want to hear what he had to say. So, you know, so he tried it and he did, and you know, he did his thing with it.
I'm starting to get the sense that your dad was more like Eazy-E. I'm starting to get that sense. I'm hearing some parallels.
Mm-hmm. So, and it was just like, you know, he did that, and now that I'm doing it, and you know, and I'm doing it because he told me that, you know, I can do it. He say that I was gonna make it. The only way I'll make it is if I give 100%. So now, you know, I guess this is his way or the world's way, or however you want to see it, of trying to connect us in a way, you know. But still, you know, it's gonna be long live him. But honestly, me as an artist, I feel like, you know, I want to explore different genres of music versus staying in one lane.
Okay.
And I honestly feel like that is what will kind of separate us.
Okay.
As an artist.
All right. So you consider your dad more of a viber, and you more of a lyricist, or you know, if your dad saw it as a play, I think Yo Gotti would say the same thing. I think Yo Gotti would say that, you know, he's rapping because he saw opportunity, you know, to get paid, but he not really a rapper. That's another way to make a check, and he gonna make that check. But that's not, you know. Also, Yo Gotti came yesterday basically saying he fired his personal trainer because he was yelling at him. You know what I mean? But so that's just one of those things where, you know, if you're a straight businessman, if you're a boss, and you coming into the studio and you got folks wanting to, you know, do this and play little trick records, Kodak records and stuff like that, they like, no, man, I don't want that. Just give me a 2-short beat, give me a nice 808 drum line, and let me do my Shawty Lo thing, you know, do his thing like that. So you got him queued up?
Yeah.
All right, Teddy T got you queued up. Which one you gonna play for us, Teddy? Bricks coming up, man. What can you say about Bricks, Shawty Lo Jr.?
Man, Bricks is really my first record. This is just me introducing myself, you know, as an artist, where I'm from, I'm good and stuff like that, outside of town.
All right, it is Bricks by Shawty Lo Jr. right here on Ask Mathis.
I'm from the west side, little dude.
Trill did it again.
Bankhead to be exact. Yeah. West side, Bankhead, born home, gotta know the bricks with me. Young run the city, and I got LO with me. Get the bad, push your phone wheels all through the city. We done came a long way from them dirty dishes. LO showed the whole city how to get it. Everything y'all did, best believe we done been did. 10 toe, can't fold, Bankhead, name place that we can't go. Born home, stand up for the kings. We gon' throw your L's up. Built, not bought, G-Code, young low going. We smoke, still got a thing for free coast. Took his, will I repo? Low ran the bass like Nino. West side, Al Pacino. Niggas really wanna be low, but they could never really see low.
Ain't I fresh, bet you put a head under this Gucci belt. I can show you something different, I can show you something real. She gon' know the difference, it won't be that hard to tell. I'm from the bridge, I was raised up in the trenches. I cover hard times with a hard life, I was raised up to get it. They know, need to step aside to get with it. I'm still the king up in my city, ain't no place out in these streets I can't go. They know.
Doing the show. I said, bro, I don't know if you can see the wall, but this is our wall. You see, you got your dad right there.
I see Dad.
Yeah.
I think I see Too Short, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, you see, your dad is in between Gucci Mane and J. Cole. And, you know, right underneath Bun B and 50 Cent, Eminem, you know, Jay-Z, you know, all, you know, we had the greats, man. So, you know, so we look at your dad every day, bro. Definitely, he made an impact. You know, made an impact. And, you know, when you have your seed, you know, out there carrying on your name when you're gone, bro, that's what every parent wants. You know, so we appreciate you rocking with us, man. Where can folks find you? How can they follow you? And how can they get your music? And what are the dates for the event? You say the whole week. His birthday would have been the 22nd, but you doing the whole week.
Yeah. So the whole week, it will consist of March the 21st through March 27th. So that will be the whole week. I'm actually about to have promotional material ready, so you guys can stay posted for flyers and you know and all of that good stuff. But you can follow me. That's on IG. That's Shawty Lo Jr. That's SHAWTYLO_JR. Shawty Lo _Jr. You can, yeah, and you can find my music. It's all music. You can find my music. You
So we got that hello. That's Shawty Lo trademark, bro. Good luck to you, man. We'll be in touch. So y'all make sure y'all check out that D4L week, man. Paying homage and commemorating, the late great Shawty Lo, quarterback, by his seed, Shawty Lo Jr. Y'all make sure y'all follow him on all platforms, his music as well. He just played that bricks for you. Here on Ask Mathis, man. Appreciate you, brother. Alright, yes, Teddy, man. I'm the king up in my city. Ain't no place I can kiss, I can't go. Teddy going into his Rolodex.
Yeah, pulling out. I got some I don't want to speak on it, but I got some heavy hitters coming in the political, law, and entertainment world. That's where we move around here with Ask Mathis.
All right, yes, indeed, man, yes, indeed. So, man, that's about all I got, bro. What you got? Newkirk, Teddy, y'all got anything?
I just want everybody to be checking in tonight. The Snowfall, it's the third show for the new season. You need to be getting down with Snowfall. It's a great show about the CIA, moving drugs,
about rare country.
Man, I started watching the beginning all the way to the 10th season. What? How many seasons? Oh, okay. So I man, it's crazy. It's yo.
Because the CIA agent Teddy, he came back this time. It was the CIA agent last year. He kind of took his place. So now it's a new agent back. And the kid that is the main dude, he's an English kid. That plays a kid from Compton. He's really from English.
Yeah, I heard about it.
His accent is definitely, like the English accent, but he's got the Compton accent down. He said WC in Mass Circle helped him really perfect the accent. And, it's just great. Like, he's there, his parents. John Singleton is the executive producer of the show. And it's just really good. It gives you a good insight of how drugs came into LA during the 80s through the CIA and how they just picked up all the gangs and how everything started opening up. Like, that's what they're showing on the show.
Now I definitely don't want to get up out of here without talking about that trade, that Seattle trade in Denver.
Oh, wow.
The Denver Broncos, Russell Wilson, are they now contenders? Is Denver going to be able to satisfy Seattle. Well, Denver, I mean, I guess compared to Seattle, Denver's a step up. It's a little warmer. You know, it's a little warmer. They both
A tad bit warmer.
They're both recreational.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They're just in the Mile High city. It's a little up high in Denver, though. Like sometimes if you go to Denver, if you got asthma, you got to be careful in Denver.
Yeah, it was a player for Pittsburgh who wasn't even allowed to play there.
Yeah, you
The
can't
brother
play
in the league is not allowed to play in Denver. Like his doctor would not clear him to play in Denver.
It's a difference. It's a difference. You can tell when you're there, you're up high. So the breathing is different.
Yeah, that altitude.
Oh, yeah.
They call it the mile high because you up. You know, you're in that altitude. And it ain't for everybody. And, bruh, how did Jazz in the Garden just creep up on us? It's this weekend, man.
It is.
Yeah.
You're going to have Rick Ross there.
And Mary J. Blige and somebody else.
The Isley Brothers.
The Isley Brothers.
You know what I'm saying? It's gonna
it's gonna be pretty good, man. I might try to slide out there Saturday, but I'm going out of town Sunday. But I might slide there Saturday, but I got something going on Saturday at like 7 o'clock. So that's usually the time I go. Folks be mad at me, bruh. Folks be mad at me because it start probably like 3 o'clock. But you know, the wife and I typically go around about 7. And when we get there, folks be mad because they be hot. They be hot. They done been there all day. And they done seen all the local acts and all the local groups. So they been there all day. And you come in there fresh and clean and smelling good. And, bro, they be mad. They be mad.
Give
they
me
be,
that look. Look at them.
Hey,
Mathis.
They be mad, bro. They be mad.
Look at them.
All clean and fresh.
With a nice little umbrella drink.
With the drink.
With a nice little umbrella drink. Looking for my seat. Y'all was occupying my seat for these first 4 hours. Excuse me.
Damn.
I believe that belongs to us.
Appreciate it. Keeping it warm.
All the time coming in, bro.
Hey, I wanted to say something one thing before we get out of here. When you were speaking about the Ukraine war, have you seen how the media has kind of switched up? Not switched up. Well, the narrative is like it doesn't happen. It could be an everyday European that lives right next door to you, or it could be, you know, it doesn't happen in these countries like it does in Africa. And the guy was like, "Let me be, you know, sure about my words when I say this," and he said some crazy crap too. Like the media, they look at it so different because it's like you said, white people are getting killed over there.
White people are getting killed, and they got to try to figure out an explanation that's different than this is just in their nature. Or this is something that has happened because there's a theory that's called wow, I'm having a block, but what it means is that essentially the day one starts when we say it does, right? And day one starting where we say it does, meaning whatever we had to do leading up to January 1st, it don't count anymore. It doesn't count. Like we had to kill, we had to do all this other stuff, but we're gonna say January 1st. That's when we all go take baths. That's when we all put on our best clothes and we come with these documents and we say, you know, this is how we live. These are our goals. This is what we're going to do from henceforth on. What happened yesterday does not count. It's like a purge. You know how you see the movie The Purge? It's like, you know, for one night,
day.
you're able to come out and do all this other stuff. And tomorrow, if you survive, it didn't matter. It doesn't count, right? We've been doing that, you know, the United States of America. We've been doing that throughout the world. So you have people who are vying for it. When I say people, primarily China and Russia, who've been vying for that same spot, and who's been saying that we will not allow our real enemies, we do not allow them in this hemisphere. Like we don't allow just nuclear, powers to have nuclear arms, in this hemisphere. Like we decided that in the '60s with President Kennedy and Russia and the Cuban Missile Crisis, where they wanted to have, nuclear weapons in Cuba, and we was like, nah, that's a non-starter. Like we ready to end this right now for everybody, and they backed down. Khrushchev backed down, turned those boats around, went back, and so they're saying the same thing. China's saying that as far as the artificial islands that are being erected in the South China Sea, as well as
like Taiwan,
and with Taiwan. So they're looking at, we do what we want to do, over here, and, y'all leave us alone, and we'll leave y'all alone, when y'all do the things that y'all do, where you guys are. So, it's just one of those things where, ain't no fun when the rabbit get the gun. And so that's basically, what we dealing with and what we doing, over there. So before we get up out of here, man, we got, our freshmen, up in here, man. Come on, let them slide on over here, man, so we can see what he talking about, in terms of sit at the where you want them to sit. You want to put them right here? All right, cool. So see what they talking about, man. Got a college man now. I last saw him, he was a boy. He was a Mirror High School boy, and now he's a I can't call him a Morehouse man yet, but he is attending Morehouse College, of course, my alma mater. So, my brother, welcome to Ask Mathis, man. Introduce yourself and, tell us, how you finding Morehouse so far.
So what's going on, everybody? My name is Meldrick Glenn. I'm a freshman business administration major from Miami Gardens, Florida. Morehouse intro. And the reason I chose Morehouse was because, I wanted the HBCU experience, but I just wanted to do it, differently. I didn't want to, take the typical, FAM, Bethune route. Right. Everybody go to FAM, go to Bethune, but I wanted to do something different, so
right.
I ended up going to Morehouse.
Right. You figured, you wanted to be a big fish in a big pond.
Right.
Because I know that experience, especially from, coming from South Florida and not necessarily seeing a whole lot of people who look like you that are taking the same classes that you're taking or have necessarily the same worldview that you may have. And so you put yourself in Atlanta. I know when I was there, bruh, there were 5 college presidents' sons that were in my class. The president of FAM's son, Frederick Humphreys, the late, great Frederick Humphreys, his son, Lawrence, was in my freshman class. Janetta B. Cole, who was the president of Spelman College, her son, Che Cole, was there. I graduated with Bill Cosby's son, Enos. So you had, Alcorn State's son was there. So you had a lot of people, bruh. And so it's like one of those things like Prince was saying in, Little Red Corvette. When I see all the jockeys that was there before me, I believe it or not, I started to worry. Wondered if I had enough gas. You know what I'm saying? Because that's, you looking around and you seeing what it is. I'm seeing a guy driving a Porsche on campus. I'm seeing all these other folks. So go ahead and tell us about your experience.
Oh, so my experience, I feel like it's been very different just because of COVID and things like that. So I feel like COVID played a big role in my freshman experience, especially this year with it being the first year back since COVID really started. So they've been taking a lot of health precautions, even with just NSO week. So it's not really the typical Morehouse experience you may have had.
Yeah, but it's definitely that. I've been watching a lot of the video. I follow Morehouse on IG, and I get more inspired now because we didn't have those images, those visuals constantly coming back. The way you guys have it coming now, and the chapter, Alpha Road chapter, on Morehouse's campus, we just celebrated 95 years, and we had a nice thing, talking to the young boys that's still on campus now and folks who just left in terms of what they got going on. So I know from that perspective they got a lot of stuff, coming and planning and going on. So how do you find the difference between being at Morehouse at HBCU versus your experience in high school?
I would say it's different as in just they take more of an effort to like step out in the community, play a role in like the black community. I feel like it's like more of an effort towards just like black excellence, and it's like the push towards it is way bigger, and like the efforts are way better as well. And it's not even just from like the professors, like the people who run the campus, because it's honestly all student led, and it's just like all the students just wanting better for the future.
And do you see yourself like that is something bigger than you? Like when you step on that campus, like do you feel the spirit of the brothers that came before you who went on to do great things? It's expected. Like it's expected for you to go and wherever it is you end up, you expected to be a leader. Is that the mentality that is being instilled still?
Honestly, I would say it has changed a bit. It's really more than just being a leader. I feel like it's just more than being like a genuine person, being somebody that, like you don't do things just because you feel like you have to. You do things because you genuinely want to.
Okay. And what about, do you still have to do, every Tuesday we had to go to chapel, and then freshman year you had to go Tuesday and Thursday. Is that still a requirement?
We have freshman orientation on Zoom.
Yeah, it's on Zoom now.
Yeah, the chapel is getting redone right now.
Okay. So y'all Zooming it. So it is a little different. What about the food? You living on campus or off campus?
I live on campus.
What hall you staying in?
Graves.
Oh, man, you in the Big Daddy. You at the top of the hill.
Top of the hill.
Yeah, the top. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Graves Hall guy. Okay. That's why I was at Huber Hall, but that's what's up. It's all good. So anything you want to say? How can they follow you or your experience or what it is that you intend to do with your business degree?
Well, with my business degree, I really just intend to like help other people start businesses, make businesses. Like right now, I'm in the process of getting an LLC, working on creating like a black creative network, a network for all black creatives to just help each other be successful off of each other, do a disservice to the white man.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's what it is, man. So, we got Mr. Glenn, man. He's enrolled at Morehouse. And how your grades so far?
My grades, they could be better. It's a little shaky, but I'm working on it.
Come on now. I want to hear that report, but I appreciate your honesty and your candor, man. And welcome to Ask Mathis, man. We'll go get some lunch, man. You hungry?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it, man. All right, y'all. Appreciate y'all. Take care.
Shawty Lo, man. Bigger than ringing the brother. Bring your top down.
Hey, hello, they know, hello, they know, hello, they know, Shawty Lo, I got flavor, plus you know the kid got paper, like 40, don't save her, bankhead, been pulling caper, the way he dropped, would've thought I had a taser, call me street, like a razor, Shawty Lo, ATL, I'm the mayor, street nigga, but my gear be Taylor, every day and then Shawty might rock Gator, millionaire plus, I got acre, yeah, no more nosy ass neighbor.